Greetings, I'm Kevin Beckner, Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning with the Parkway School District. First, I want to thank families and students for all you've been doing throughout this pandemic. We know it's been challenging, you've had to be flexible. Thank you so much for everything that you put into this school year to make it go as well as possible. We know there's a lot going on right now. There are finals, students will be receiving their schedules, and we know that in-person students will be returning to school starting on the 19th. On top of all that, we have to begin our planning for next school year. Though it may seem early, we have to make sure that we have the right staff and courses in place for students so that they can be successful. So we want to share some of our plans and thinking for next school year so that you can be aware of what to expect in the coming months. Last semester, we conducted both a thought exchange and a survey for our students who are attending virtual campus to find out a little bit about how things are going. We heard some things and want to respond to what we heard, so I'll share a few of those with you now. First, many families who've chosen virtual campus said that based on their experience, they'd like to continue with virtual campus. So virtual campus will continue to be an option for next school year for our families. That will include Parkway teachers with synchronous instruction. Students will still be able to participate in athletics and activities at their home school. We'll still have access to counseling and post-secondary planning, just like students who are in person. Secondly, we heard that classes are better when they are focused on students in one setting, so either students in a fully virtual setting or fully in-person setting. So to that end, we'll be working to make the vast majority of our classes single setting classes so that teachers can focus exclusively on one group of students at a time. Third, we heard that frequent changes are difficult. So we'll be working to create a schedule that students and teachers can count on being consistent for next school year. We also heard that families need time and flexibility to consider their options, so we'll be building flexibility into the registration process for next school year. And finally, we've heard that we need to make sure that the classes we're offering virtually and in person are really conducive to that setting. So we'll be creating a course guide both for virtual campus and for in-person schools that make sure the courses that are offered are really tailored to that setting. Since some classes work really well in the in-person setting, but maybe less well in the virtual setting, we'll be creating a robust set of course options for students who select virtual, but some classes will only be offered in person, and therefore the course guides for virtual campus and in-person schools will be slightly different. Because there are different course guides for in-person schools and the virtual campus, we'll be asking later this month for families to make a selection about whether they want virtual campus or their in-person school for next school year. I know what you're thinking, that's way too early. We don't know how the health and safety situation is going to progress between now and the end of the school year. We don't know how the vaccine situation will evolve, and we need flexibility to be able to change our minds. So don't worry, we're building flexibility into this registration process. If you are certain that you want an in-person experience for next school year, during registration, you'll register at your home school using the in-person course guide and you'll be all set. However, if you're not sure, or you know that you want a virtual experience, you should select the virtual campus course guide, register as a virtual campus student, and all of those families will have the opportunity in May to switch from virtual back to their in-person school. Doing so will allow families who aren't sure how they want to proceed to be able to have that option to change their mind. We're able to offer that flexibility because the classes offered in virtual campus are also offered in the home high schools. However, because some classes are conducive to an in-person setting but not a virtual setting, not all classes offered in person are also available in virtual campus. Through this process, we'll be able to hire the teachers that we need to ensure that students have the courses and credits that they need for whatever they plan to do after high school, and also allows families who, again, need that flexibility to have it. So what can you expect in the coming months? Later this week, your home high school will be sharing information about the registration process that includes dates and course guides for both home high schools and for virtual campus. We encourage you to have a conversation with your family about what selection would be best for you at this time. Again, if you're certain you want an in-person experience, go ahead and register at your home school and you'll be all set to go. If you're not sure if you want virtual, use the virtual campus course guide. We'll use that information to make sure your child can register for the correct courses when registration opens. Registration will take place the first week of February, and those specific dates and information will be provided by your home school. In May, families who select virtual campus at this time will have the opportunity to move back to their home high schools, and at that point, selections for the 21-22 school year will be set. Again, thank you so much for all you're doing this year during the pandemic. Students, best wishes for the end of the quarter. Students learning virtually, best wishes as you continue in virtual campus next quarter. Students returning in person, we wish you a great return to school on the 19th, and thank you so much for your time.